What's up? What's up? What's up? Check, check, 1, 2, check. Do what I wanted it to do. Check, 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 testing, check, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. I am back, you're back, we're back. You just have to. Should save. Hopefully, it should save. Check, 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 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. I am back. All right, we're good. All right, we're back. I'm back. You're back. We're back. Hope you all are doing well on the last day of January 2026, 31st. We're here to talk about the NBA for tonight. Congrats to the Hornets. They won. They beat the Spurs. They covered the first half spread and the full game spread. My main pick did not cash. I took them for to score 112 points. They hooked me at 111. But funny enough, they had 3 free throws. I don't know who it was. I just saw it on my phone. It said that they were rewarded 3 free throws with like 11 seconds left on the clock in the game, and they had 109 points. And I seen that they had 111, and I'm like, okay, they just need one more, and they would have covered me, and I got hooked on the .5. So the 11 and a half got hooked. So yeah, we move on, because next up is to worry about my other main pick, and that is for the 76ers, which is possibly not going to cover. Keep losing. Every time I put the 76ers down for a spread or whatever, keep losing. I think I'm like 0-3 right now on the season on betting the 76ers on covering. But yeah, I am hopeful that maybe it will still win because they just announced Paul George is officially on a 25-game suspension. So there's that. So we will see what what will happen tonight for that one. Oh shoot, did I grab? I can't remember if I grabbed the. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm supposed to do this before I got started. Okay. All right. So let's see what we can do today. I have a few other parlays that I decided to put together here for tonight. Gonna rely on well, this one didn't cash. I thought that Fox and Knuppel were gonna get 2 threes, 3 threes. That didn't work out. I thought about Bridges for threes. That didn't work out per original read. He actually went under his PRAs if I remember correctly. For Bridges, for the Hornets, yeah, I think he went under. Brandon Miller continues to ball out. He had 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. I'm believing he went over his PRAs once again. 23, 26, 29, 31, 27, 30. I want to say his PRAs was roughly around between 28 and 30, maybe 28 and 29 tonight or today. So I want to say that he went over his PRA, just like barely went over. So there's that. But I have Johnny Fury for the Pacers to get 15 points. We'll go over that. I got Missy getting 16 PRAs. Actually, I apologize, not 15 points, 15 PRAs. I parlayed that together here specifically for that. And then I did parlay this. I got to take these on separate bets. Reed for 15 points for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then Eason for 13 points for the Houston Rockets. So those are those two slippers. Like I said, I got to go back in and take those as single bets. because I always say take your single bets, put them down, and hope for the best for sure. Definitely parlay some that you feel like will cash. But as you see, I'm not doing too many uh, too many uh, too many three legs and stuff like that. So, man, something's going on with my Hulu, man. But anyway, let's dive into it. Pacers are hosting the Atlanta Hawks. This is what it says for them. I'm gonna try to run through these a bit more quicker. Let's see. So the Hawks are on their third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights. The Pacers have rest. So we'll see what happens with them. But let's dive into this game here specifically. So when it's pertaining to the spread, it's 1.5. The Hawks are favored right now currently, and the over-under is 232.5. This is what it says. The Pacers are even 24 and 24 in the last 48 games to covering. At home, though, they're 15 and 10. Just above 500 in the last 41 games as underdogs, 21 and 20. And as home dogs, they're in the last 19 games at home, they're 12 and 7. So that's a positive for them, right? The Hawks are in the last 50 games are 25 and 25 even, just like technically the Pacers. And on the road for them, they are 16 and 11 to covering at home on the road. But as favorites in the last 22 games as favorites, they're 8 and 14. And just above 500 in the last 11 games on the road as favorites, they're 6 and 5. So what do you decide to do when it's pertaining to this spot here? I apologize, I forgot to make sure that my thing is working here. There it goes. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that the at least on my laptop, make sure that the comments are working. So what do you really do with the spread? Again, it's more leaning towards the Pacers to cover tonight because, again, they are, as home dogs more than anything, they are 12 and 7 the covering, right? 12 and 7 compared to the Hawks as away favorites. They are 6 and 5, right? So do you consider taking the Pacers at a +1.5? They did cover the +1.5 from the last game when they played against the Chicago Bulls at home. They came back and won in that thriller in the fourth quarter, right? So what do you really do? Jalen Johnson, I think he's still Q-tagged too. So if he's out, I would potentially say possibly take the Pacers to cover the 1.5. If you feel like that you should take this now, take it now. While it's a +1.5 still, because it just might bump up on and shift to possibly the Pacers being favored or something like whatever. It just might. Atlanta still got dude, this is wild. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Something's going on with my Hulu. One second. I'll be right back. I mean, I'm here, but I just wanted to try to just being weird for a second. I don't know what's going on with the Hulu on my TV. But again, if you want to take the Pacers, take them now, like I said, because who knows? Because they announced Vit was Q-tagged 3 hours ago. Zachary might play tonight, but I would probably say fade Zachary, because if he does play, he's probably going to be on minutes restrictions. So there's that. Indiana, they only have Toppin and Halliburton out, so that's that. So they're still technically mostly at full strength. So when it's pertaining to the over-under total, per the data here, this is what it says for them. Maybe you fade, maybe you fade this 232, right? So the Pacers are 18 and 30, more so to the under. Overall in the last 48 games. In the last 25 games at home, they're 10 and 15, more so to the under. In the last 31 games, right? Or should I say 41 games, excuse me. As underdogs, they're 16 and 25, more so to the under. There's that information. Then when it's pertaining to the Hawks, this is what it says. They're just like the spread. They're actually in the last 50 games, even to the over under 25 and 25, but a slight lean to the over on the road, 15 and 12. But as favorites, they're 11 and 11. But in the last 11 games, as away favorites, they're 7 and 4. So what do you really do with the over? Let's even look at the spot. This is what I usually use, but I've been talking about this in the last few streams. Is I look at the matchup that the specific teams are in specifically. Now you can even go with what Outlier is saying here. The Hawks in the last 5 games are 3 and 2 to the under. The Pacers are 4 and 1 to the under in the last 5, but technically 8 and 2 per their spot. 50-50 for the Hawks as far as the under, right? But the Pacers and Hawks, they've played at Indiana 4 times, and this is pretty much what it says. Now, in these 4 games, all the totals went over. So they're 4-0 in their matchups against each other to the total over. They hit 266, 272, 259, and 236. The Pacers won on January 5th of 2024, 150 to 116. And then on April 14th of 2024, just a few months later, the Pacers won once again, blowing them out, 157 to 115. And then the Pacers won again on last year, February 1st of 2024, 132 to 127. And then this past October, pretty much the beginning of the season, on October 31st of 2025, the Hawks won 128 to 108. So the question becomes, do you take the Pacers to win to cover? Do you take the Hawks to win to cover? Do you take the over because the overs have hit in 4 straight games at Indiana? The Pacers won 3 of the last 4 matchups. The Pacers have their number. That's the question at hand. Do you take the Pacers to win? Because stuff is leaning more towards them to cover and even possibly win on the money line. I would say, if anything, possibly take the over, right? And possibly take the Pacers to cover this plus 1.5, because you just don't know what's going to happen, right? Pacers have the Hawks number. I'm feeling more inclined to take the Pacers to cover here to possibly win the game. Will they win, 150, 157, scoring that many points, 132 type of stuff? Who knows for sure. But I would say take the Pacers on the spread here. And then maybe possibly take the total over. I'm going to go on ahead and take the Pacers to cover the plus 1.5. So let's go on ahead and do that. And he lost. It's a wrap. Sorry, I'm up here watching wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, man, all I can say is, man, I'm not going to say anything. You would have to see for yourself. Man, kind of knew it, though. Kind of knew it. In my heart of hearts, kind of knew it. All right, we're going to go on ahead and take the Pacers to cover the spread here. Plus 1.5. Because, again, like I said, per the information, it looks like the Pacers are probably going to win, probably going to cover. Just depends on the situation. So we will see. And as always, I'm going to post this in my Discord here for you all to see live. Live. All right. Pacers to cover. Let's hope for the best. Oh, let me ban somebody from another Discord that I'm in, that I'm a mod in. Let's do that real quick. Boom. You're gone. Shoe fly. You bother me. All right. And I'm also posting this. Almost forgot to mention, join us. Join us over at Top Sports Debate over on WAP.com. This is where I do my live streams for the community parlay here. Pretty much almost every day for the NBA. Last night's community parlay was this one. We went 2-1, so if they round robin the slip, they cash. So tonight, same thing. Single bet, round robin the slip. This is the community parlay here because we're over on Discord as well. This is the community parlay tonight. Fading 1, relying on 2. We're going to take Jamie Jaquez Jr. to go over 28.5. It was technically 27.5 while I was streaming. Then it bumped up 1. But we're still believing that he can get 29 PRAs tonight. We're fading Cedric Coward under his 23 PRA points and rebounds. And then we're relying on Brandon Williams to go over his his PRAs at 20.5, at 21. So that's that. Let me put this, get back here, and let's see what we can do next here. All right. So that's that. Next up, we are focusing on the 76ers. I just mentioned it because, again, this is my second pick. I'm taking the 76ers to cover the first half spread here. We'll see what happens because Paul George got announced that he was suspended for the next 25 games. So we will see if he indeed... Well, we'll see if the Pacers can cover. Here's the reason why I went with the first half spread, 2.5. Even though, that's the thing, books still believe they're going to cover still. But the 76ers are 60% in the last 10 games. Pelicans are 50%. They're 2-3 in the last 5. Philly's 4-1 in the last 5. But even more so, let's look at the actual data for the first half spread here. So when it's pertaining to the first half spread, the 76ers are 27-19-1 overall. As home favorites, they're 8-6-1. And on the first game of a back-to-back, they're 6-3. While the Pelicans first half spread cover overall, they're 23-27. As away underdogs, they're 9-13. And on their second day of a back-to-back, they are 2-7, and with lack of rest, they're 3-8. So that's the other reason why I took the 76ers. But again, this was 6 a.m. in the morning when I put this in, and wasn't expecting Paul George to be announced out. So yeah. But per the actual spread information, this is what it says on Moneyballer. The last 47 games, the 76ers are 26-20-1 overall, but at home they're 12-15. On the road, they're 16-10 with a positive, right? But as home favorites, they're 7-9. While the Pelicans are still positive, 26-23-1 to covering, just above 500 on the road, 12-11, but under to covering as underdogs, 21-23-1, and as road dogs in the last 22 games, they are an even 11-11. So really do still kind of feel like the 76ers can cover the possible -6.5 possible. I talked about in the last stream with Embiid, talked about taking him for his points. His line probably has not moved. Let's see. So it did move. So this was earlier this morning. His original line from 3 days ago, their last game was 27.5 for him to score 28. This morning it was 29. It was 28.5. Now they decided to push him up to 30. So they believe now, the books believe that he's going to go under, right? But the question becomes, can he do it? Personally, feel like he can do it. Look at what he's done in the last several games here, more so at home. Again, they're at home. You still even look at him at home. This is what he's doing at home. He's averaging 31, right? Against the Pelicans, he's actually averaging 30 against them all time. More so at home. That's what I looked at too. So when it's pertaining to this information, they shut down a couple of actual starters actually get the ball in their hands. Jaren Jackson Jr. and they shut down. Chet Holmgren, they shut him down. We're talking about the actual 20, now the 30. Wemby, they shut him down. Lando technically came close. He actually had a big game. Lando doesn't really score this much, so he had a random big game on the 23rd. And then Jackson got his specifically on the 23rd, but he did not come close to. He was off by 2 buckets for the 30 that we're looking at, and then Duran had 20. So do this information what you will. Personally, I still feel like Joel could get the 30 tonight. So we will see what happens. When it's pertaining to the over-under, this is what it says for both teams. The 76ers are on a positive note to the over, 24, 22, and 1. Positive note at home. I apologize, not the Pelicans, 76ers. 14, 12, and 1 at home. And then as favorites, though, they're 12 and 13 and 1, just below to the under a little bit. And then are even as home favorites, 7, 7, and 1. So there's that. But the Pelicans, this is what it says for them. They're even in the last 50 games, 25 and 25 to the over-under. On the road, though, 10 and 13, pushing more to the under. But as underdogs, 24, 21 overall. And then as away dogs, 10 and 12. So it does seem like a slight lean to the under. The books currently believe that it will go under at 232, at 232, right? So do you consider taking the under? Let's look at the actual matchup. In this spot, 76ers are at home. They played the Pelicans at home 3 times more recently, and the over hit twice. On January 2nd of 2023, the 76ers won 122-111. And then on March 8th of 2024, the Pelicans won 103-95, the under hit. And then on January 10th of last year, 2025, the Pelicans won again, 123-115. So the Pelicans have their number. They have their number to winning straight up. They have their number on covering the spread. This is at Philly. But again, the over hit, though. So maybe you do still possibly take the over. With Paul George out, that's still roughly 10 to 15 points off the board for them. That's the question at hand. They do have Drummond possibly questionable. If he's in, that's roughly 5 to 10 points off the board if he does play. I mean, off the board if he doesn't play, on the board if he does. So what can you do? Quentin Grimes is in. He's probable. That's 10, 15 points on the board for the 76ers. I would say because Paul George is out, maybe even look into Kelly Oubre's points. It's 14. This consistently sticks around 14 most of the time. He's been down back-to-back games at home. Let's look at him against them. He had 21 on the 10th of last year. This was that day that I just talked about here. Per the spot here, 1, 2. So 2 out of these last few got the 14. Lou Dort, he doesn't score that much for my Thunder, but he did go off a few days ago or something like that. But he doesn't score. He really does not score 15, 16 points consistently. Keldon Johnson, he's been more consistent for the Spurs off the bench, so I can understand him getting the 15. Duncan Robinson, he actually had 15 last night on the nose. So he actually came through on my parlay that I did last night, this one here, because I thought it was going to possibly work. I just got greedy. I knew I should have taken Hauser off. I put him on here. I had Duncan Robinson and Hardaway on here as well for them to get threes. So I knew I should have taken them off. So Duncan got he had 5 threes. Hardaway had 5. Like I said, I knew I should have just had them 2. That one would have covered. So what can you do? Sir Thompson, he pretty much got shut down for the actual 14. So do you take Kelly for the 14? Maybe again, these 2 games at home specifically, he did not get it. Let's look at Kelly specifically at home. Still same spot. Yeah. So I kind of feel like he can still get the 14. We'll see. Just a thought. So yeah, I would say possibly take the over, and see if you feel comfortable about taking the Pelicans, because they're 2-1 against the 76ers right now, currently. So we'll see. We shall see. Next up, this one should be interesting. Bulls versus the Heat. The Bulls are on the first game of a back-to-back, third game of 4 nights, fourth game is 6 nights. Same thing for the Heat. First game on the back-to-back, and as well third game in 4 nights. The spread is 5.5. The over/under total is 234.5. This is what it says per the data. The Heat are on a positive for covering the spread. 28, 22, and 1 overall at home in the last 24 games. At home, 13 and 11. And in the last 15 games as favorites, just above 500 to covering 13 and 12. But they're just below 500 in the last 17 games as at home as favorites, 8 and 9. That's that information. When it's pertaining to the Bulls, it's a little bit more of a positive for them. They're even 24, 24 and 2 overall to covering, just below 500 in the last 23 games. They are 10, 12 and 1 on the road, but as underdogs, they're 19 and 9 to covering. And as away dogs in the last 15 games, 10 and 5. So it's more of a positive for them to cover tonight. As you see here per outlier, they're 8 and 2 to covering, but Miami is 2 and 3 to covering their spot. Do you consider taking either side? It just depends. Hero is still out. Norman Powell is out. So that's like roughly about, you want to say about 20 points off the board. But Jamie sometimes will score, 20 points, but not often. He's usually under, right? Do you consider taking Jamie for his points at 18? The books currently believe that he's actually going to do it. Head-to-head wise, he got it once for the 18, and that was this year. That was technically 2 days ago at Chicago. Does he do it again? Like I said, I have him on my community parlay for him to go over his PRAs. I currently believe that he can. But again, that's still points that they still will get. But, of course, Davion Mitchell was out as of 4 hours ago. Powell was ruled out last night or 2 nights ago. Hero's out from from last night. So do you still consider taking whoa, hold on. I didn't know this. Let's see. Giddey is out now. I didn't know that he was Q tagged. Okay, so he's out. Vucevic is out. Okay. And they just announced Kobe White is out. So this might go under. Let's look at it. Let's look at the matchup. The Heat and Bulls played 3 times at Miami. This is 234. So it went under twice out of the 3. The only time that it went over was in the first matchup on December 16th of 2023. The Heat won 118 to 116. And then April 19th of 2024, the Heat won 112 to 91. And then on March 8th of 2025 last season, the Bulls won 114 to 109. Do you take the under more because, again, Giddey, that's 15 to 20 points off the board. Trey Jones, that's roughly 10 or 15 points off the board. Vucevic, that's roughly 10 to 15 points off the board. Do you take Kobe White? That's 15 to 20 points off the board. Do you consider fading the Bulls on their team total points tonight, which is what, 114? Let's see Kobe not on the court, Giddey not on the court, Vucevic not on the court. Just in general, they did go under at 113 on the 8th of April, but that was last year. So then look, let's see Miami. So Miami, let's look at them at home. Again, stopping teams from scoring 114 points. 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5. Now they're 5-1 to allowing somebody to score 114 points. But again, without those key players that usually give a specific amount of points to the spot. Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Fernando? What's going on? You got the Bulls team total under. Okay. Is it barely up? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you now consider fading the Bulls on their team total points? I really feel like we need to fade the Bulls tonight, because again, that's a lot of points from their squad not scoring. So I'm gonna do it. Somebody here says that we need to do it too. I concur. Let's do it. Let's put this in. Let's fade the Bulls team total points. Even again, this is a risk. Why? Because of Minnesota's defense, right? Again, I could sit here and say, yeah, take the under just in general. Maybe still do that because in 2 of the games it did go under per the more recent matchups between both teams at Miami specifically. You can still take the under. I actually feel more confident about that. But the riskier bet is to actually see if Miami can stop the Bulls from scoring 114 points. So we're going to go on ahead and take the riskier bet, and I'll probably do a side pick for the total under anyway. So let's do that. So it's a minus 102 on BetMGM for the Bulls to go under their team total points. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. And as always, I gotta pop into the BetMGM app, like fully exit out, then re-pop back in to actually put the bet in. This is weird because if I try to put the bet in with me popping onto the app off the first time, it like doesn't allow me to put the bet in. It's just weird. I don't know why that app does that. Some type of glitch or something. It's just weird. But we're fading the Bulls tonight. They're at home. We're going to take the chance. They're on the road. We're going to take the chance. So Bulls 114 minus 102. So we're going to take this here. And you know what? I'm going to add this 20% booster. No. You know what? I'm going to add this no sweat to the slip. I'm going to just throw the 10 on there. There we go. It's in. That's what we're going to do. It's a no sweat. And as always, I'm going to post this live right here for you all to see. All eyes on my Discord. Again, join my Discord if you want. You'll get all the picks early, just before the games, hours before the games, whatever. Let's see, team total Bulls, team total under. And again, I'm going to share this in another Discord that I'm a capper in as well. Bulls, team total under. Also forgot to mention too, yesterday's live stream actually did positive, right? It actually hit on a positive note. Per the live stream, for what I put out, 4 picks, I want to say, or 3 picks during the stream, went like 4-0 and 3-0. So we swept the board yesterday. Or should I say I did? Because I was the only one that did the live stream, the only one that did put the picks in, but it's a positive. So, all right. Let's get it. Here it is. Bulls, team total under. Like I said, they gave me a no sweat. I said, let me just throw this 10 on here and let's get it. Let's make it happen. So, there's that. Let's go. Again, as always, it's welcome. You don't have to. If you want to like the stream, you can. If you want to subscribe, you can. I'm trying my best to go live every day as best as I can because, again, NBA is my favorite sport. So I just love talking about it. I breathe this stuff, right? I consume NBA basketball every day, right? All right, is this next up? Yep, it's next up. My Memphis Grizzlies are hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't know what we're going to do tonight. I don't know if we're going to lose this to cover this 10.5. I don't know if we're going to win. I don't know. The over-under is 229.5. I don't know. The hope is that we can win tonight and cover. At least if we lose, the hope is that we still cover. We're 8-2 to covering the last 10. Minnesota are 3 straight games to covering a minus 10.5. They're favored at a minus 500 on the money line. So we will see. Now for the Timberwolves, this is their 3rd game of 4 nights, 4th game is 6 nights, and 5th game is 7 nights. So that's more of to me, that sounds like, okay, possible chance for my Grizzlies to actually wake up and leave it on the court and get this win and to cover on a win. But this is our 2nd game on the back-to-back. This is our 3rd game of 4 nights, 4th game of 6 nights. So let's see what happens. Spread-wise, this is what it says. Again, it's not too comfortable for my squad. We are 19-27-1. At home, we're 9-15. So we're not covering like that much. As underdogs, we're 9-18-1. And as home underdogs, we're 3-8 in the last 12 games. 11 games. The Timberwolves are 22-28. They're not doing so well when it's pertaining to covering overall. On the road, they're in the last 24 games, 11-13. And as favorites, they are 16-23. So they're not covering. But then, as away favorites, they're 7-10 as well. So what do you really do? Do you still consider taking the Timberwolves to cover tonight? Do you consider taking my Grizzlies to cover tonight? Really don't know what to really say, because both of us, we just, we're technically in the last 5 games, we're on the positive. The Timberwolves are 3-2 to covering 3 straight games. My Grizzlies are 4-1 in the last 5 to covering. It's really a decision that you have to make for yourself. Again, I don't feel too positive about us covering tonight, but we'll see. The total is 229.5. This is what it says per their overall records and stuff like that. The Timberwolves are 19-28 to cover an overall. My Grizzlies, I apologize. 19-28 to cover on overall. At home, we're 11-13, so the unders are hitting more, right? And as underdogs, the under is hitting 10-18 to the under. But, and as home dogs, we're 4-7 more so to the under. The Timberwolves, when it's pertaining to their under overall record, they are 22-28, same thing as their spread record, but they're 15-9 on the road to the more so to the over. But as away favorites, they are 15-24 to the under. But again, it swaps back over to the positive for the over. As away favorites, 10-7. Do you consider taking the over on this spot? This is what it says per the actual matchup. My Grizzlies played against the Timberwolves 5 times more recently in the last couple of seasons, right? This is what it says. The actual total is 229.5, and in 5 matchups, the total went over 3 of the games. So on February 2nd of 2023, my Grizzlies won 128-107. And then on November 26th of 2023, the Timberwolves beat us 119-97. So the under hit at 216. But the following game, the total went over at 230. On December 8th of 2023, the Timberwolves beat us 127-103. You see, there's a little bit of interesting spot between the first 3 games. We blow them out the first game, they blow us out the second game, we blow them out, and then they blow us out type of thing. So it's like interesting spot, right? And then on January 20th of 2025, last year, my Grizzlies beat them 108-106. And then on April 10th of 2025, the Timberwolves beat us 141-125. So the over hit just a little bit more, 3-2 to the over in this matchup here. Maybe we take my Grizzlies for our team total points. Let's look at this here. Now, when it's pertaining to us versus them, we hit, let me look at the actual, what is our actual total over here? They're giving us 110. We've gone 3 straight games to the under. Let's look at us at home. We're actually doing better at home, 115. That's our average. In the last 5 home games, we were averaging 113. The Timberwolves are allowing 114 on the season. But in the head-to-head in 2 games, more specifically at home, we're 1-1. Again, like I mentioned, we scored 125 points against them on April 10th of 2025 last year. Without Ja on the court, because he's out. What are we doing? Who else? Salty Aldama, he's out. Now, Jaren Jackson Jr., he's officially out. Sheesh. We still scored 132. This was at home against Dallas on April 13th, though. Sheesh. Let's just do Ja. Let me see. So we're doing more of an under tick without Ja on the court. This is us at home in the last 5 without Ja, 108. Do we consider fading us tonight? Because again, JJJ's not in. Salty Aldama's not in. Edie's still out. Maybe we fade. Maybe we do that. We're talking about going under 110. Well, let's look at Minnesota on the road. What are they doing? What are they allowing? If we're taking us to go under, this is what it says for Minnesota on the road: 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 1-3, 2-3. Excuse me. I apologize. 1-3, 1-4. Excuse me, 2-4. Let me do it again. I'm messing up. 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, 1-4, 2-4, 3-4, 3-5. So in 8 road games, Minnesota are actually 5-3 to stopping a team, to allowing a team to score 110 points. Without Ja on the court, again, we're in the last 5 games, we're a bucket off, 108. I really feel like I want to fade us tonight. We couldn't even score 100 points against Charlotte because Charlotte just came in there and just like rocked, especially that first half, I remember. Head to head, at home. Now at home against the Timberwolves, we went under 3 times. 97, 103, and 108. Still feeling inclined for us to go under, just being honest. Yeah, I am feeling inclined. Yeah, you're totally right. I feel inclined for us to go under, just being honest. So let's go ahead and do this. This is 114 on FanDuel. We're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to fade us. I'm going to fade my squad. Again, Timberwolves are 5-3 in the last 8 road games to allowing a team to score 110 points. But when it's pertaining to the actual matchup, we're under 3 times. So I'm going to go ahead and fade this, dog. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Again, funny enough, it's still a lean. It's a minus 108. More of a push for us to score 110. So I'm going to go ahead and fade us. Let's see what happens. The hope is that, we don't score the spot here, but we'll see. Let's see here. Make sure that I'm doing this right. All right. Because again, and that's the other thing that you're noticing with the Timberwolves against us. They are in 3 of those games here at Memphis. They've won by 10 plus points, 11 plus points, or whatever. So yeah, I really it's just funny how a lot of times the certain situations are, and that's why I love sports. It's just certain situations which is like, oh, very randomly they're in a spot to go under their team total points. They're in a spot to the under actually hitting because of the situation. We're down, injured players, the matchup itself, we usually go under. Like it's just one of those spots. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. All right. Bang, there it is. Through 5 and some change to get back. There it is. Team total under. Let's do it, huh? And I'm just posting this in the other Discords that I'm in so that they have it. We are, as always, hoping for the best for a lot of our slips. Okay. Let's see. I think we're on the last game, actually, because, again, it was only 6 games tonight. There's 10 games tomorrow. So I'm going to try to probably pop in here early tomorrow to really go over the data and stuff with the folks. So, again, if you feel up to it, like, subscribe, all of that, because I'll be back. Okay. Dallas versus Houston. Last game up. Again, Cooper Flag, he went off. He had 49 points. First rookie to do that as a teenager. What, 18, 19, whatever. Another big spread, 10.5. They're 8-2 to covering. Rockets 1-9. That was the recent one they covered against the Hawks, right? Yeah. In a nice win because I that was the game that was one of the from 2 nights ago that I did live here and took Atlanta Hawks under in that cash. So just want to put that out there. So currently the Rockets have a 54.5% probability chance of covering the spread here. The Mavericks are in a third game in 4 nights. Rockets, third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights. In-season revenge, too. But let's look at this here per the actual spot. It's 223.5 per the actual spread. I mean, excuse me, the total. Let's see what we can see here. Rockets are 22-24 to covering overall. At home, though, they're 8-12. Just 8-12. As favorites, 19-23. And as home favorites, 8-11. While the Mavericks, just below 500 in the last 49 games, they are 23-25-1. On the road, they are 7-12-1 in the last 20 games on the road. But as underdogs, they're 18-14-1. Look at that in the last 23 games. They're doing positive there, but just below 500 in the last 14 games. They are 6-7-1 as away underdogs. Do you still consider taking the Mavericks to cover here? They're still down. Davis is out for weeks. Dante, he's done. Kyrie, he's probably not coming back till next year, if that. Steven Adams is officially out for the Rockets. That sucks though, because I remember I saw that injury. I was like, oh, he's done. So it's a wrap. I got Eason on that slip. Him and Naz Reid to get points. Naz Reid to get 15. Eason to get 13. Both at plus value, because in the spot that they're in, kind of feel like that they will score a specific amount of points. So the hope is that they will. I got to keep reminding myself that I have to actually go back in and take these as single bets, because I forgot to do that. I did it for the other two, right? Because this is the parlay that I did for Furphy and Messi to go over their team total, their PRAs at plus value, because I feel like they can do it. And I single bet them. I just have to single bet this one here. So we'll see. When it's pertaining to the total, it's 223.5. This is what it says for their overall record. The Rockets are 20-26 overall. At home, same thing with the under, more so to the under, 7-13 at home. As favorites, 19-23. And as home favorites, 7-12. So the under's hitting for them more at home. The Mavericks, this is what it says for them. Same situation, the under. The Mavericks are 21-28 overall, more so to the under. On the road, 7-13. And as underdogs, just a slight lean to the under in the last 23 games, are 16-7 as underdogs. But, and as away dogs, same thing. Slight lean to the under, 6-8 in the last 13 away games. Do you consider taking the under? Obviously, I would say yes. One of the main reasons, again, you're looking at Houston Rockets more specifically. 4 straight games to the under, 4-1 in the last 5, 7-3 in the last 10. But again, the over has been hitting more for the Mavericks, 3-2 in the last 5, 7-3 to the over. But let's actually look at the actual spot where they're at. They're at Houston. Rockets versus the Dallas Mavericks. They played against each other 5 times, more recently at Houston. Per the spot, it's 23-24. The under, if you do consider taking the under hit 3 of the last 5 matchups. This is what it says. December 22nd of 2023, the Rockets won 122-96. The total went to 218. So the under hit. On March 31st of 2024, the Mavericks won 125-107, but the over hit at 232. On January 1st of 2025, the Rockets won 110-99, and the under hit at 209. And then on March 14th of 2025, last season, the Rockets won 133-96, and the total hit over at 229. But in the more recent game this season, on November 3rd of 2025, the Rockets won 110 to 102, and the under hit at 212. When it's pertaining to the spread, when you look at the information, hear the information, the Rockets have covered a plus 10.5, 1, 2, 3, 3 times, right? But again, the under hit 3 times. Do you consider taking the Rockets on the spread? Maybe, possibly. Dallas does play better defense against the 3-point shot. Houston's still a decent enough defense, right? That's why the unders are hitting more too for them at home specifically. I would lean more towards the under, but it just depends on what Houston is doing at home, just on the season in general. So if we decide to say fade, let's look at Dallas under. Now they got Dallas under the 106. One of the main reasons why Dallas is under the 106 is because of what Houston is doing at home specifically. They've been stopping teams from scoring points on their home court. But I got lucky on the 28th because I took the chance on the Spurs to score 100, and I think it was 110 points or 100. It was something like 108, 109, 110. And they hit 111. So they got the points that I needed. But when I looked at the data, I was taking a chance. Here's why. Look at this. Houston, if you're deciding to actually rely on Dallas from scoring the 108, look at Houston. They go 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, right? 3-3, 3-4, 4-4. So they're even 4-4 to stopping a team from scoring, again, the 106. The question becomes, do you fade the Dallas Mavericks tonight? Who, again, Cooper Flag is in, Marshall's back in because he rested the last. It was something he rested or something like that. He's back in, so that's more points in their pocket on the court. So do you take Dallas for this 106? They couldn't stop San Antonio from scoring that 109 or 110, whichever number that I got from 3 days ago. Personally, kind of feel like Dallas can still get this 106. Just being honest, personally, they're 9-1 to the over in the last 10 games, 4-1 to the over in the last 5 games. Let's look at them on the road now. Same thing, 4-1 to the over, 9-1 to the over on the road. I'm gonna go on ahead and take the chance. I'm gonna go on ahead and take Dallas for the over. I want to see if Houston can bounce back because, again, they allowed San Antonio to get the extra bucket or two against them. They still slowed them down. They stopped them from scoring 115. They just didn't stop them from scoring 110. My usual number is 110 when it's pertaining to taking totals over, right? In the matchup, when it's pertaining to the Houston and Dallas matchup here, Dallas has gone under 106 3 times. They scored 96, 99, and 96, right? Excuse me, 4 times. I apologize, 4 times. This is more recent. They scored 102 on November 3rd of 2025. Again, the books believe that they're going to go under. I'm going to take the chance. I want to see if Houston can shut them down. So I'm going to go on ahead and take the Dallas Mavericks to score 106 points tonight. I'm going to take the risk. That's why I always say here on the channel. That's why the channel is called Bet at Your Own Risk, because I love taking risks like this. Just being honest, this is what I do. If you feel like, per the information that I shared, per the data that I'm showing you, if you feel like Dallas is going to not get the 106 points because they haven't done it in 3 straight matchups against Houston at Houston, fade them then. Go ahead and fade them. But I'm going to take this. And actually, it's shifted. It's no longer 106. It's 107 now. It's 106. Let me go back because I clicked on something that I didn't mean to. So it's actually a minus 115 for them to go. I apologize. I was reading it wrong. I apologize. I'm actually taking them over. It is 106. So let's get it. So this is but it is a minus 115. So I'm going to take this on DraftKings. Let's do it. Let's hop on DraftKings. Let's load it up. Let's log in. And we are good. Again, join us over on WAP.com. Top Sports Debate. This is where I do my live streams almost every single day for the NBA. Community parlays really only. I do all the analytical stuff here. Got the community parlay for tonight. Again, going over the community parlay. We are relying on 2 and fading 1 to go under. So we're relying on Jamie Jaquez Jr. to go over. His PRA is at 29. It was 27.5 when I was live streaming during the time, but it bumped up to 28 when I was trying to put the ticket in. Fading Cedric Cowart from our Grizzlies under 23 points and rebounds. The data just looks like he'll go under. We'll see what happens. And then we're relying on Brandon Williams, which again, I have to remind myself, I'm laddering Brandon Williams up 2 more spots because per his data, per the spot that he's in against the Rockets tonight, even more so against the Rockets, he's actually 2-0 on the season to getting the 21, both at home and on the road. So he's actually 1-0 against the Rockets on the road to getting 21. Anytime that he's played against them, he's gotten 25 or higher. I'm going to ladder him up to 23. So he's at 21 now. I'm going to get plus money at 23, 22, and then another plus money at 23. But I'm going to ladder that. And I'm going to post it right here in our Discord here, Top Sports Debate, and on my main Discord here as well. I'm going to post all that stuff here. Enough of my rambling. Let's, like I said, go find us, or give me a second. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, let's do that. Mavericks over 106. Let's see if they can actually finally get 106 points at Houston tonight. Maybe Houston plays better defense. Maybe they once again stop them from scoring 100 points tonight. Maybe Dallas decides to come off of that win at home, and Cooper Flag still gets 20, 30 points tonight. And with Marshall back on the court too, maybe they they get the 106. Again, there's no guarantee. There's never a guarantee for anything. So you have Rockets winning 118 to 108. Nice. We'll see. We shall see. Let's share this here. Oops. Mavericks team total over. Yeah, it's okay. Actually, no. Let me do this. There we go. There it is. It popped up there. Bang. Okay, bang. And oops, didn't mean to do that. Sharing this over on our WAP for everybody to have, hold, maybe tell. Maybe. Let me grab this link and let me join us over on WAP. Here we go. If you feel like it, click the link. Join us over on WAP. You get access to my live streams. You get access to Bobby, Tony. Those are the cappers. One of our the newest capper. Where are you, dude? Where's your stuff? Oh, it's up here. Q Keezy. He's one of our newest cappers. He has been smacking the books on pretty much practically every single day, right? And like I said, you get access to my live streams where I do the community parlays. And if you want to join my Discord, Click the link. You have been invited. Join me. This is where you get, like I said, you get all my stuff, all my parlays and stuff. This is where I post all my stuff every single day. Sometimes I'm late, sometimes and then you'll get my access to my college slips. I gotta check to see if let me see, this was 2 o'clock, this one 12. I gotta see if these cash, because I don't know, these are early, but my college basketball stuff. But let's see, we'll see what happens. But that's that. I'm about to be out because I need to relax, rest up, get ready to eat dinner in about like 10-15 minutes, and I'm just gonna enjoy the first half of my 2-day off. I'm off the weekend finally. Last week was crazy. Put a snowstorm that hit my city. Had to stay the night. Had my job. Last weekend it was wild. That's why my brain was thinking that I had to work tomorrow, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm off the next 48 hours. Like, I'm good. Like, chill out. Had to shut my brain off. Was gonna take a nap, but my neighbors upstairs started doing some running around, so it kind of wasn't gonna work out for a nap. So it is what it is. Kind of too late to take a nap now. I mean, I could, but I'm just gonna wait until like 8:30 tonight to officially go to bed, and then I'll probably wake up at like 3 in the morning like I normally do on my day off, and I'll pop on here and see, or pop on the apps and stuff, see what I won, possibly lost, and see what happens. Probably gonna put a couple extra slips in because again we got 5 games here left. See if I can probably put like a 5-leg, 4-leg, something, 2 threes or something, rebounds, slip, PRA, something. I'll probably try to figure something out. I'm trying to be more aggressive because the All-Star break's not that far away. So I'm going to see what happens. And then tomorrow I'll be back early, possibly around noon. Probably do something like that after I eat lunch. Maybe we'll go live around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I'm on the East Coast. And that way we can dive into, because I do have my first pick for tomorrow. If they open this fully up, I'm going to be taking the San Antonio Spurs to cover the first half spread, because I looked at it about like 2 hours ago. They are, again, this is a early look for you all, but the Spurs, when it's pertaining to covering the first half spread, they are again more so on the second leg of it back to back. So they are on the first half spread to covering, they're 24-21, and on the second game of a back to back, they're 6-2 to covering the first half spread. And even more positive, with a lack of rest, basically, you know what I mean, 1 day or no days, they're 5-2 to covering the first half spread. So I'm gonna go on ahead and take the Spurs tomorrow to cover the first half spread. It's probably gonna be 2.5 or something, or 3.5, whichever, because it's 6.5 right now per the numbers. So I feel like with them losing today, they're probably gonna bounce back, and who knows, maybe they'll win by more than 7 points. But I'm taking them to cover the first half spread. But we'll see. But I'm out. I'll holler at y'all later. Hope y'all stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, and let's hope for the best for our picks tonight. But I'm out. And Fernando, thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Gracias. And I'll holler at y'all later.